Alright, welcome to my third Let's Play video. I've chosen for my third game, Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. Now, Jak and Daxter is a trilogy of games developed by Naughty Dog, and it's actually really kind of interesting about how you see the evolution of the studio as you progress through the trilogy. Naughty Dog is one of those classic examples, actually it's really one of the best examples of a company growing up with its fans. Most people really kind of first found out about Naughty Dog or learned about Naughty Dog with the Crash Bandicoot series on the original PlayStation. Crash Bandicoot 1, 2, 3, and Crash Team Racing. They sold the Crash Bandicoot series or franchise to a different developer for the PlayStation 2 because Naughty Dog moved on to developing Jak and Daxter. They developed Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, Jak 2, and Jak 3, and Jak X Combat Racing. You kind of notice a little bit of a pattern going on here, a trilogy of games and then like a racing game in each generation. In the PlayStation 3 era, they moved on to the Uncharted series. So Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, and then they developed a game called The Last of Us. And then after The Last of Us, they moved on to a fourth Uncharted game, which is, as of the time I'm recording this, still in production. So, Crash Bandicoot is really a childhood game. It's a Mario clone. Let's not let's not mix messages or anything like that. I don't really know what the right phrase I was looking for there is. But let's be honest. It's a Super Mario clone, just for PlayStation, right? So if the Crash Bandicoot series represents childhood, the Jak and Daxter series represents the teenage years, I would say. The first one, Jak and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, as I'm sure you can see, it's bright and colorful and cartoony and fun. It does have a couple of like darker underlying themes, but specific in a not so subtle twist around what's called dark eco. Yeah, it's cartoony, it's late childlike, and fun. Jak 2 takes a much more serious tone. It still has those cartoony elements, and it's still bright and colorful, but it begins to explore some darker themes. Jak 3, it goes a little bit further. It explores harmony, really, like dark versus light, and some much more mature concepts that, like, it really kind of, the series kind of goes through the teenage years of themes and thought process and presentation, much like a human would, right? The first one, bright, colorful, cartoony, fun, and getting a bit more mature and a bit more refined and in-depth in its thoughts as the series progresses. The Uncharted series is what I would call young adulthood, right? It is not, super mature. I mean, there's still some pretty, some pretty young and fun thoughts and everything like that. But it's more of a realistic and less cartoony of a presentation and style. The Last of Us is what I would consider maturity. It is a game that is very based in realism and reality and explores some incredibly dark themes. So from the early days of Crash Bandicoot to the most recent game, The Last of Us, Naughty Dog has really shown that they've grown up, and it's taken them about as long between the first game and the last game as it takes one of us as a fan to go through the same kind of progression. So it's actually really kind of neat in that regard. Now, Naughty Dog started as an independent studio, I think in California. I could be wrong, but I think they're based in California, and they were acquired by Sony. So they are now owned by Sony during the PlayStation 3 era. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but it's during like the Uncharted era that Sony purchased Naughty Dog. And Naughty Dog has kind of become a jewel in their crown, as it were, because their games are always very popular, very well received. And yeah, so let's talk about Jak and Daxter itself. What do I want to say? I don't know. I do plan on playing the entire trilogy as a Let's Play. I'm not going to leave you with part 1 and then leave you dangling and waiting. Like I said, it's this one in particular. It's pretty cartoony. It's pretty open form, and colorful. They do lay the groundwork for future games, and I will get to them afterwards. I haven't decided if I want to do them like back to back to back, or if I want to like maybe put something in between each one. We'll see what the mood strikes me when I actually get to that. But I hope you enjoy, because this game's a lot of fun. Oh, right, one thing I will mention. I am playing the HD remaster version for the PlayStation 3. I am not playing the original PlayStation 2 version. So, aside from updated graphics and a higher resolution, I don't know what they've changed. It doesn't look like they've changed too much. I know they've added trophy support. I don't know what the trophies are. You'll find out as I do, I guess. Yeah, I am playing the HD remaster version, kind of in response to my last playthrough, Shadow of the Colossus. I want to provide you guys with better quality videos, and by getting the HD remaster version, even though I already own the PlayStation 2 versions, I'm going to be able to make you better quality videos. So, let's see what's different. I hope you enjoy, and it's just a fun game all around, so let's have fun. Talk to you later.
I have spent my life searching for the answers that my father and my father's fathers failed to find. Who were the Precursors? Why did they create the vast monoliths that litter our planet? How did they harness eco, the life energy of the world? What was their purpose, and why did they vanish? I have asked the plants, but they do not remember. The plants have asked the rocks, but the rocks do not recall. Even the rocks do not recall. Every bone in my body tells me that the answers rest on the shoulders of a young boy. Oblivious to his destiny, uninterested in the search for truth, and rejecting of my guidance. And why would he want to listen to old Samos the Sage anyway? I'm only the master of green eco, one of the wisest men on the planet. So it seems the answer begins not with careful research or sensible thinking. Nay, as with many of fate's mysteries, it begins with but a small act of disobedience.
Hey! Jak, old green stuff told us not to come here.
Continue your search for artifacts and eco. If the locals possess precursor items, you know what to do.
Deal harshly with anybody who strays from the village. We will attack it in due time.
What are we doing here anyway, Jak? This place gives me the creeps. Huh? Oh, stupid precursor junk. Eek! What is that dark ooze? It sure don't look friendly. The sage yaps on about the precursors that built this place all the time. Where did they go? Why did they build this crud? Now, I like precursor orbs and power cells as much as the next guy. But if you ask me, they must have been real losers. Wow! How did you do that? I think we're in trouble! Man, that stung! I told you we shouldn't have come here, and you listened! What? Okay. I'm fine.
What in green tarnation do you two want?
I was...
Don't tell me! Instead of heeding my wisdom, the two of you went mucking around in the only place that I told you not to go. Misty Island.
That's right, and then...
And, Daxter, you finally took a much-needed bath, but in a bathtub filled with dark eco.
Look, old man, are you gonna keep yapping, or are you gonna help me out of this mess?
I'm gonna keep yapping, because in my professional opinion, the change is an improvement. And besides, I couldn't help you if I wanted to.
What?
There's only one person who has studied Dark Eco long enough to have a chance at returning you to your previous form. Carl Acheron, the Sage. But he lives far to the north. Far, far to the north. Nobody has spoken to him in ages. I would teleport you there, but I can't do that either. None of the three sages that maintain the other teleporter gates have seen fit to turn their ends on for quite a while. The only other way north is by foot through the Fire Canyon, but its volcanic soil is hot enough to melt precursor metal. You can't just walk through it.
But you could fly over it if you had a zoomer equipped with a heat shield. I just happen to be working on such a thing at this very moment. All I would need is 20 power cells to give it enough energy to withstand the canyon's heat. Isn't that right, Daddy?
Yes, Keira, that might work. But where are a boy and a half going to get 20 power cells?
From the villagers. Most of them have a power cell or two stashed away somewhere. And even if they aren't willing to just give them away, greasing their palms with a few precursor orbs should do the trick. And I bet there are even more of them out in the wilds just waiting for some brave adventurer to find.
Well, we've got the brave adventurer at least.
Brave adventurer? You two couldn't find your way out of the village without training. Before you do anything else, you better go through the warp gate and get some practice on Geyser Rock.
We won't find any more of that dark gooey eco stuff, will we? 'Cause I'd hate to fall in again and turn into you.
Get in there before I turn you both into ferns.
This device is a communicator. With it, my father and I can give you advice at any time during your quest. Floating egg-shaped things are precursor orbs. Collect enough of them, and some of the villagers will give you a power cell in exchange. cell, the most important precursor artifact you can find. You need to collect 20 of these so I can power the heat shield for your A-Grav zoomer. Sent 7 of them to each area to look for power cells, but the lurkers must have captured them all.
Activate some precursor artifacts when you get near them. Notice how each blue eco cluster you pick up increases the time you can use its power. Precursor door. It can only be opened by approaching the door while channeling blue eco through your body.
That's a blue eco vent. More concentrated than the floating clusters. This vent will give you a full charge of blue eco, letting you use it for the maximum time.
Good work! The blue eco caused the door to open. With blue eco, you can breathe energy into all kinds of precursor artifacts that have lain dormant for years. little green balls of energy on the ground are a type of eco. Pick up 50 small green ecos or one big green one to increase your health. You can jump once, then jump again in the air to reach even higher ledges. Found all of the power cells on the island. Come back to the warp gate so I can bring you back to the lab. Hurry up! Good training, boys, but that's nothing compared to the challenges that lie ahead.
Then no problem. We got the moves, eh, Jak? We'd love to stay in chat, Big Green, but we're, itching to get on with our adventures.
Fine. Adventure away, then. And while you're out adventuring, why don't you make yourself useful? My darn green eco-collectors are clogged up again. Head out to the far side of the beach and clear them out, why don't you? Follow the lamps. They'll take you right there. Now, all of you, get out of here! Some brave adventurers you two are. Back already and without clearing my block eco-harvesters. They're on the far side of the beach, boys. Now, get moving!
Hey, baby! What do you say you and I go cruising on this A-Grav Zoomer?
Rule number 1, I don't date animals.
You don't know what you're missing.
Listen, if you need something to keep you busy, my father always talked about an ancient precursor pipeline hidden deep underground. Some of these pipes end in vents from which eco flows freely, and some have been capped off so that the eco is sealed back. There must be a way to turn the capped vents on. I traced part of the pipeline back to the Forbidden Temple. Maybe you should look there for some type of switch.
flies are always in red boxes.
Well, hello there, my dear boy. You've caught me at a most inopportune moment. I was to set off on my journeys yesterday, but I seem to be a spot short on the old Precursor orbs. I would have pledged my word that I had 90 of them, but I gather that your young friend, you know, the little annoying, miserably ugly one, might have just pilfered them as a sort of a spot of fun. Anyway, would you be kind enough to loan your dear old uncle 90 Precursor orbs so he can get underway? I would offer you a power cell in return.
Don't tell me that you two have problems as well. The first I hear of monster sightings near the village, and now this. See those gears up there, boys? See them? See how they're not moving? That means our village has no power. The eco beam coming from the jungle temple has been interrupted. And boys, everyone's too frightened to go out and find out what's happened.
Did you pay the bill?
Yeah. Oh, you're funny. Now look, if you two fix the eco beam, I'll give you a power cell. Oh, and another thing, if by any chance you're interested in making a contribution to my re-election campaign, I might be willing to part with yet another power cell. The minimum contribution is a very modest 90 Precursor orbs.
Hey! Little furry dude! Oh, I thought for a moment you were my muse.
Your what?
Haven't you ever seen a muse before? It's a little glowing squirrel about your size, full of spunk, and crazy as a lark.
Oh, I get it. Like a sidekick.
As a matter of fact, without my muse, I just can't sculpt. But with her around, I see beauty in everything, you know? Right now, I couldn't chisel my way out of a box. I think she ran away to that misty island. I just hope she's all right. It's worth a power cell if you bring her back to me.
Wait a minute! We are not going back to Misty Island! Are we?
I'm as inspired as this rock.